Hey everyone, welcome back to another video from CryptoBusy. In today's video, we've brought on a special guest, TMG, that Martini guy. This video is jam-packed with a load of content, talking about the market, Bitcoin's price, Ethereum's price, altcoins, top picks of 2021, and a lot more. So stay tuned and watch to the very end. Also be sure to subscribe to the CryptoBusy channel and leave a like on this video. It really helps us out. So with that all being said, let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so TMG, there's crazy movements in the market recently. Let's just talk about predictions and everything that's going on. So with Bitcoin itself, where do you see Bitcoin going in the short term? And then from that, by the end of 2021?
It's gonna get interesting, isn't it? For sure. It's we're at a very interesting stage in the market at the moment. Quite obviously, everything is going up at a rapid pace, and that gives me butterflies in my stomach of excitement, but also of nervousness because I know what's coming. And everybody knows what's coming, and it's a case of when does it come? That big fat red candle from the sky that nobody expects, but everybody also expects at the same time. So in the short term, I think that things are looking up. Genuinely, I think that we'll probably go through quite a rapid phase of growth. But I think that $50,000 level for Bitcoin is the short-term target. But a rejection from that, it could be nasty. Same goes with Ethereum at $2,000. I think that will happen in the near-term future. But I also, and we discussed before this, we both all kind of think that something bad is around the corner because things don't normally go this well. And it is a bit weird having sat through a bear market for 18 months, watching myself lose money every single day consistently. It's weird when you're making it.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
sure.
No, I think one thing I've noticed through doing this for a couple of years now, I'm sure you have too, is whatever the general sentiment is, it is usually the opposite of that is what will happen. I mean, we see 95% of people lose money in the markets, well, at least in Forex and maybe crypto as well. But the reason for that is because it's usually the big institutional players and the big money that knows the things that we don't. And therefore, if everyone's thinking it's going to go up, it's most likely going to go down, and vice versa a lot of the time. So I think it's definitely interesting.
It's not. You say you should always follow the herd to some extent, but at some point the herd becomes wrong, and that's when the institutions make their money, when they start changing the direction of the price, which does happen. We've seen it many times. Do you not remember, like 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, they were saying Bitcoin would be down at $25,000 and $20,000, and this week everyone's going $50,000, $100,000, and the next week it'll be $25,000 again, and we're going to go back down to zero. And just like markets do move in the short term, and it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks ahead.
And I mean, the reason why I was so bullish when everyone was saying down 25K is because everyone was saying it's going down to 25K. If everyone is predicting it to be bearish, a lot of the time it's just going to go opposite to that. Because again, especially in terms of market manipulation, again, I could only really have maybe Forex to go off here. Banks will kind of mess with the markets a lot to take out people's stop losses for liquidity purposes. So if the general direction is long, then they're going to take it short and then take it long for more liquidity. So again, it's a very similar thing. And now that we see so many of these big predictions going up and up, that makes me a lot more nervous. If everyone was bearish on Bitcoin, that's when I'm bullish. So it's very much that.
And at the same time, enjoy the rides and take some profits along the way.
Always. So the ride is very enjoyable, and that's why I say you got butterflies in your stomach. But you've got to remember, if you don't take the profits while you've got them, you don't have them forever, and nobody wants to walk away from this 90% down, but people will do. People will do, and especially people that are just kind of entering into the market right now. If it was me, I wouldn't be going all in. I would be waiting for a dip. I always wait for the dip before I buy more. I never FOMO into a rally because we are in quite a strong rally at this moment in time. And that is something that, again, concerns me. I've seen a lot of new people flooding my way, and my inbox is absolutely full of people asking, how do you buy Bitcoin? Well, the simple answer to that is I imagine there is a link to buy Bitcoin in the description of this video. But more simple than that is, it's just quite a concerning thing when you're seeing so many retail things. It's just so many parallels that I'm drawing from 2017 that perhaps there is a little bit of a warning on the horizon.
Yeah, and I think one more thing I want to talk to you about with Ethereum as well. So obviously we have the CME futures listing coming up very shortly, I believe on the 8th. Now, we saw what happened with Bitcoin after the CME futures listing. It plummeted. Do you believe that this will have any kind of relevance with the Ethereum, or will it continue going up? What's your kind of thoughts on that?
I think it was bad timing on the first one. I think that can't be attributed to anything apart from bad timing. I don't think that CME moves markets down 90%. And I think that the launching of Ethereum futures, honestly, it'll probably just have just a fairly neutral impact on the markets. What you'll probably more likely see is that over time, as that trading pair really starts to pick up some momentum on that exchange and there is more institutional interest, that it makes everything more volatile. Because not only that, you've got institutions again competing. And if you look at the amount of positions that have been opened so far on CME, the shorts far outweigh the longs. But those shorts, in many, many cases at this point, are massively underwater. And so, like institutions, this is why everybody talks about, the stop shot, the stop losses that they've been trying to trigger it on Reddit and that recently.
Yeah.
So all those people that are basically longing Bitcoin in order to try and get all these institutions wrecked, well, if you look at the actual shorts available on CME at the moment, they do still far outweigh the longs, which is, I guess, a little bit concerning for the institutions at the moment, but sometimes it'll be concerning for us as that balance flips over and retail join in the trend of shorting. And that's why things are getting very volatile in this space, is because people do tend to trade derivatives, because the lure of making 10 times extra money, well, it's attractive. I like to do it. I've got it open on a screen right here because, I mean, I'm good at it, but many people as well aren't good at it and they don't know when to take profits. So again, it's all an exercise in caution.
Yeah,
exactly. It is an exciting course, and and I mean, as you mentioned with Reddit, I mean, one cryptocurrency has been on Reddit quite recently and has a lot of hype recently, also with Elon Musk, is Dogecoin. And I was reading through your Twitter the other day, and you mentioned something about you had a stash of Dogecoin somewhere. Let's just talk about what's happening with that. And I mean,
I bought.
Your opinion
I
on
was
it.
mining Dogecoin back in when they've kind of first brought it out, essentially, and it was first a thing. I'm mining a little bit. Never really, never had any mining software or anything, just using my laptop, burning through graphics cards. And I probably, during that period of time, accumulated what is currently worth about $2 million worth of Dogecoin. Well, at today's current prices, it's never been this high before. It should not be worth $2 million. It is a useless coin that doesn't have any use case at all.
It's a meme,
purely speculative, and it's purely based on that meme. And I don't know where my wallet is. I think I binned it a while ago. So threw £2 million down the drain. But it's nothing to worry about, because ultimately you win some and you lose some. It's like people that sold Dogecoin back then, and they sold it for $100, because that equivalent, the amount of value that I had, Dogecoin is probably up about 11,000x or something from back then. So it's not really something that you can compare to now from back then. It's more so just something entertaining to tweet out that, I've lost the equivalent value of $2 million, but also I've probably lost about $10 million worth of Aave, because I sold all of my Lend tokens when Lend's market cap was down at $1 million or whatever it was during the course of the bear market. And now Aave's market cap is well into the billions. And so that's a multiple of 1,000x that I dumped it for 10 grand, and that would be worth and more than the Dogecoin.
Some, you lose some.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're not doing too badly. I'm sure you're.
No,
okay.
We're all doing fairly good.
Exactly.
In this market. That's why we are concerned, because it's not doesn't normally feel like this. It normally feels a lot more bitter.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Well, I keep seeing this one tweet resurfacing, which is the one from a while ago, which was like that guy who says, I'm so annoyed I sold my 1,700 Bitcoin for like 50 cents. It's at $8 now.
Yeah.
Like now it's at all-time high 42 grand. Would have been worth like 70+ million.
You can't ever be annoyed about lost profits, because something that you never had is something that you still don't have, and it's pointless being annoyed about it at all. And a lot of people do get hung up on it. Yeah, they get hung up on it. Like the people go, I saw Bitcoin in 2013, but I didn't buy. Well, I'm sure you all saw it in 2017 and you didn't buy as well. And now you're seeing it in 2020 or 2021 rather, and you're still not buying. Some people just won't ever buy at these prices, and you keep getting given the opportunity. Eventually, you've got to bite the bullet at some point, in my opinion. But it's one of them things. You can never be upset. You could have everyone on earth could be a billionaire right now if they'd bought Bitcoin back in 2010.
Yeah.
But nobody did. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin didn't look viable back then. It didn't even look viable in 2018.
No.
Now it looks viable again, which is sell sign.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not to get too morbid about it, but there was this guy who bought, I believe he was the owner or creator of Victoria's Secret, and he sold the company for about 4 million, and then that year it went to being worth $1 billion+. And then he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, I believe. So
that is
not
a
ideal.
morbid story. So don't be doing that if you didn't buy Bitcoin.
Exactly.
A lot of us didn't buy Bitcoin back then.
We don't advocate that.
We don't condone jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Well, I mean, I bought 2 Bitcoin back in 2013 when they were literally $300 a piece.
Yeah.
And then I sold both of those Bitcoin in 2015 for $300 a piece. So
Yeah.
is that lost profits? Have I missed out on 80 grand? Yeah, but I got my money back. So
And you know what you
No.
know at the time, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like, and your level of knowledge then is completely different to what it is now.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
you know, you take it from that as what it
Yeah,
is.
well, it's all
I
those
was-
people that talk about 100x gains, right? And whilst it sounds nice on paper, are you really going to be able to hold through 100x? I doubt a lot of people that say they want 100x will make it past the 5 or 10x without taking their profits. Because I mean, why wouldn't you, right? You see 5-10 times your money, which you're never going to see in any other market. And why are you not taking it off the table? I think a lot of people underestimate how strong you really have to be to actually get those kinds of returns. And people that bought Bitcoin back in 2011, 2013, whatever, like, of course they didn't hold it until now, because why would you when you see it going up 100, 200 times?
That's why people sell. They never think it's going to go higher. Just like I don't think Ethereum is going to go that much higher than $2,000 at this moment in time before we get a bit of a drop off. I could be wrong. It could go straight up to 5 grand. It could go straight up to 10. You just, I mean, you can do your best to predict what's going to happen, but ultimately you're always going to be wiser 10 seconds in the future than you are currently. So
Of course.
if only you could just see a little bit further.
So taking the losses that we've been talking about, flipping that, what would you say has been like the best trade in like the past 12 months or so for the best gains or best trade that you've had?
Swissborg.
Swissborg,
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, Swissborg, because it's done
It's a great
100x.
project.
100x. We were buying it on my channel when everyone said that altcoins are dead and that this project is a scam or whatever else he's saying. And it's all nonsense. You should never ever anybody's opinion, ignore it. Even your own sometimes, ignore that. Like, you should always just do what you think is right. And I did that in that case, and we were going hard on Swissborg back when it was 1 cent, and now Swissborg's price is currently sitting around $1. So that is my best trade throughout the past year anyway. I don't actually think I've had a better trade, to be honest. It's been a pretty good trade because
It's a very solid project as well. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you know,
great
you
project.
look at the
project.
fundamentals and also the technicals. You put the two together, and you get something like Swissborg.
Lovely team as well.
Amazing. It really is. Yeah.
Very friendly guys, and it's a good situation for them, because I think that is going to be a serious contender to Coinbase to challenge for them
Definitely,
for their market share. They've got a lot of users at this point as well, which is something that's constantly driving the value of that token. And the fact that you need to acquire the tokens in order to get the bonus features within the application that are actually worthwhile having.